Good evening. Here is your weather forecast for the western region of Middle-earth as produced by the Gondor Weather Bureau. At the moment we have a storm brewing over the Bay of Belfalas. We're watching it quite closely as it could drop a lot of rain on Gondor and the White Mountains during the next couple of days. Tonight this leading edge of the system is going to bring light rain to Gondor. Elsewhere it will be generally dry and particularly calm in Rhun. We're looking at an unusual southeasterly wind over the land for the next couple of days. It will be light to moderate in strength. On the sea, things will be quite different. It will really whip up around the storm. Now, I should mention that the volcano in Mordor, whose name we dare not pronounce, continues to erupt. It's spewing thick clouds of ash into the sky. I wouldn't fancy flying in Nazgul through that. It's giving us a general Mordor index of 7 for the next few days. Not very pleasant, I'm afraid. I'll come back to that in a moment. Turning now to the night sky, it's looking like quite a murky night in Gondor, less so in Rohan. The best opportunities to skywatch are for those of you west of the Misty Mountains or north of the Sea of Rhun. Earendil rises 9 hours and 5 minutes after Gondor noon. That's in the 4th hour after sunset in most places, and the moon is full. If you can see it for the clouds, it will shine brightly all night. Let's now look at the forecast for the south of the region. Tomorrow we see the first real effects of this weather system on land. It will be a rather damp day in Gondor with light rain gradually moving northwards. There will be quite a lot of hill fog. Over in Rohan and in Enedwaith it will be dry and bright but overcast for most of the day. Further north towards Mirkwood and Hoenn, quite a warm day with sunny intervals. However, it's not going to be very pleasant. The Mordor index is very high. Unfortunately, this southeasterly breeze is carrying both the air from Mordor and all that ash from the volcano. You may well find some of it lands in the Rohan and Fangorn areas. You may want to bring your horses into shelter. Looking across Eriador now, tomorrow is looking like quite a bright, peaceful day with some cloud in the south, maybe a little light rain. The wind is blowing offshore just now, so the Linden area will be unusually dry, and we won't see any fog up the Gulf of Lune. Now the visibility tomorrow will start out excellent in most places, considerably further than 5 leagues, but gradually becoming poorer as the day progresses, particularly in the south. The air is going to start out quite stable, not very much vertical movement, so there's no immediate risk of damage to flets, but these might need to be secured before the storm arrives. Now the Shire won't see any of the rain until tomorrow evening. It's going to be a fair spring day there, good for drying laundry, but your hens won't be very happy, again with that wind blowing from the southeast. There is a slight risk of frost tonight, so you might want to cover any delicate crops. Turning now to the Dwarven Interests forecast, we're concerned at what the coming weather is going to do to water levels in the cave systems in the White Mountains. They're okay just now, but after the rain has fallen in the next couple of days, those water levels are going to rise quite markedly. The other cave systems are pretty dry at the moment. Water levels in the Misty Mountains will rise a little from the rain, but nothing really to worry about. The humidity levels are otherwise quite low, and the Blue Mountain caves are particularly dry just now, which could lead to a risk of collapse in places. So if you are in the Blues, do keep your wits about you. Looking ahead to Monday, it's not very promising for Gondor as that storm really hits. It's going to bring quite a lot of rain to the region, and to the White Mountains in particular, and it'll be very windy too. Most of Eriador will be quite breezy, get a bit wet. On the other hand, Rhovanion is shielded from the storm by the Misty Mountains and will escape most of its effects. It will be generally dry there, and the winds lighter. Thankfully, as the storm passes it weakens, the wind will shift, and the pollution and ash will rain out. So we're expecting the Mordor index to fall quite sharply. After the storm has passed, we can expect a quiet few days. That's all from me for now. You can get more information or a detailed bulletin in Elvish or Dwarvish by pressing the red rune. Have a very good evening.